Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Lashley with Weekly Wrestling Heat. We are back with another episode. Welcome, my co-host Manny Ice and Moise. What's going on, guys?
Oh, it's going good. Did you see the new ring that I bought? I finally made it into the big time because Vince called me recently and he wanted me to debut here pretty soon. I told him, Vince, I have no wrestling experience and I really don't know what I'm doing in the ring. And he's like, don't worry, everybody's the same. You'll be fine. And I was like, I don't think I can do this, Vince. And he's like, don't worry, I did it for years. You'll be fine. So I got myself a wrestling ring so I could run the ropes. Watch, guys, watch. See that? I'm getting better.
You had such a golden opportunity. You could have said Tony Khan replied to your tweet and gave you the offer.
We all knew that would never happen. That would never happen. That guy has no taste, as evident of this last week's show. So therefore, he definitely wouldn't sign me. But the difference is, Vince McMahon also has no taste, but he has way too much money, so he didn't know what else to do with it besides give it to me. So that's how that happens.
Speaking of Tony Khan's taste, his taste in picking out blood is very bad too. Apparently, fake blood.
Was that supposed to look fake? Right? I think it was supposed to look fake. I kind of do.
All right, let's dive in. Elias, you want to start with the news?
Sure. I don't think we have any this week.
I want to just talk about that signing class really quick. There's a couple of names I really liked on it. Taya Valkyrie was in the new signing class. Parker Bordeaux. Have you seen a picture of this guy, Matt? Parker
Bordeaux?
Yeah, have you seen a picture of this dude?
I don't think so.
So this kid's labeled the next Brock Lesnar. You definitely need to Google a photo of him because he looks just like Brock. And Rick Steiner's son was also in the class.
Saw that. I saw the news of that. I think that sounds interesting. I would watch his son do something, see what he looks like.
The women's division that just joined was the biggest women's class in ever, I guess, more better to say, but it has some great talents with Taya, with what's her name, Priscilla Kelly, and others. I really enjoyed this class. And they also signed Blake Christian, who's really one of the best indie wrestlers this last year. He stood out a lot.
Yeah, Matt's brother is actually a really big fan of his. I remember him telling us in the messages. So he should be pretty good talent.
I would think so.
William Regal's son debuted today on NXT UK.
Is his name? Does he go by Willie? Does he go by Willie Regal? Willie?
No,
Regal?
it's like some generic name like Mike Williams or something.
So he's not even using the heritage or anything?
Nope.
Bailey Matthews.
Wow, that sounds like the Hollywood hunk. That's how bad that is.
He kind of looks like him.
Like everyone makes fun of like the NXT name generator, for all these fake names. And now you're like, man, they should have just done the NXT name generator with this guy.
They should have done it with that guy. They should have. It would have came out a whole lot better than Willie Matthews. Wow, that's just not good. It's not good.
Especially because Vince dropped last name too, so he's just gonna be going by Willie in like 3 weeks.
What did they call? What's his name? What was the kid? He used to be a part of American.
Antonio Cesaro? Chad Gable was Shorty G, and then he became
Shorty
Gable.
G.
Then he became Gable. Mustafa Ali went from Mustafa Ali to Ali to Mustafa Ali, how the name should have been pronounced all along.
Yeah.
Which I had my own take on that. But I don't want to get into that because, we're in critical times,
Critical times.
Let's talk about Elimination Chamber. Very, very quick show. I enjoyed it because it wasn't that long. It was very flowy. It flew very.
Yeah, it went. It's the transition of the show. I really enjoyed them.
Was that what I think it was? Is that you outside your window, Moise?
Yep.
Moise, should you be doing this right now? Should you be like, I don't know, somewhere else safer? Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen.
Oh, there was a canceled match on. Oh, it's because of Lacey Evans. All right, sorry. Well, I guess that would explain why it was a shorter show, is because they had to cancel some of the show too.
Well,
Yeah,
Lacey
the
and
one match.
Asuka was going to be like a 2-minute match, anyways. I don't think any of it expected.
Whatever.
it to
Lacey
go
was
that
about to take her like 30 minutes in the ring. Like it was going to be like nearly an Iron Man match.
long. So, first match of the night was the Smackdown Chamber match, which I really enjoyed. I thought this was my favorite match of the night. Cesaro looked good. I would have won another bet against Matt because the winner didn't go 10 minutes with Roman Reigns.
But I would have won the other half of the bet because I told you that it wasn't going to. I told you that it wasn't going to be Cesaro. Hey, where are we live right now? By the way,
Just YouTube.
just YouTube. Why not Facebook?
I'll tell you offline.
Okay. I was trying to find us so I could share it around and stuff. That's too bad. Okay.
We had our most YouTube views last week, by the way, guys. We hit like 95 views or something. So
yeah,
all about me talking to Tony Khan. That's what happened there.
yeah.
No, but
the Elite tuned in.
I really enjoyed the match flow, and also freaking Daniel Bryan. Like I really am enjoying this run of Daniel Bryan. I really want to see him in the title picture soon.
Well, the report chart he wants to do everything but the title picture. He just wants to put people over. Is the report. But Cesaro doing the pull-ups, I thought was awesome. I thought that was really cool.
That was definitely a pretty fun moment, I thought, as well.
Is it the best Cesaro's looked in WWE since he came in, aside from that match with Cena?
No.
I think when he did the bar, I think that he looked really good with Sheamus. And then when he started his solo run after the bar, I think that was another high point. But then it just dropped a little bit. But
I don't know. I thought this was the best he looked aside from that match with Cena.
I think that there's a problem with Cesaro. And it happened not just this time, but it also happened what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago when he went on the early pay-per-view show. Hey, Moise, when you're not talking, mute your microphone so we hopefully hear less of the lightning, just because it's very distracting. Sorry. I thought that Cesaro, a few years ago, Cesaro did the exact same thing that he did this time, where he went out onto the thing and he got the microphone. He's like, I work harder than anybody and nobody gives me a chance, but I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take it. Only just like last time and this time, he stumbled over his words. This one was way more generic, and he like looked in the camera and he's like, I can do this because you know that I believe in myself and I can do it because I work really hard. Backstage, people know it. It was so cookie cutter, so generic. It honestly felt like a really sad Hulk Hogan promo, and that's what it sounded like the first time he did it. It's what it sounded like this time when he did it. I do not believe in Cesaro. I think he's a very qualified wrestler. I think he's a very good in-ring technician, but he's not a promo guy. He has no real personality. I don't ever see WWE ever giving him a legitimate title. Not a legitimate title, that's the wrong word to say. A upper echelon, top of the line type title and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in Cesaro. I'd never believed in Cesaro. But I loved the first opening match. I thought that Daniel Bryan stole the show. I'm so glad that he won it. It's pretty crazy to think that this is the third time that he's won the Elimination Chamber. I forgot. I knew that he won the first time when he was the champion, and he had to keep it till he could get to WrestleMania to lose in 18 seconds. But I didn't know that he had.
At the end, right?
I think something like that. I can't remember who it was, but I don't remember his second Elimination Chamber match win. I do not remember that match ever. I'm gonna have to look it up because I do not remember it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that one up because I don't remember it either. The only thing I didn't like about I liked it but disliked it. The transition into the match with Roman Reigns.
I didn't understand why they had to do it like that, right? Like, why couldn't they have given it? I don't know. Why couldn't it have been the main event? Why?
I think it's playing off the heel part of Roman.
That's true.
Doing it on his own terms. Like, I didn't like the fact that the match went that long, and I thought that when he got him in the yes lock, it was going to be something different. We're going to see at least a little bit more action, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it made sense. Right? Like, I mean, it did make sense because Brian did just wrestle. What was it? Like a 45-minute match nearly. It wasn't quite an hour, I don't think, but it was a long match, right? Like, it was like that match took a lot out of an individual. It was a 34-minute match.
And he started the match too.
And he started the entire thing. Exactly. Like, it does not make Daniel Bryan look at all bad, even to lose the way that he did, which he literally got his ass pummeled by Roman there at the end. Like a bad sort of pummeling, but like it didn't look bad because the dude just wrestled over a half hour and got in a steel cage surrounding structure. Like that was
thrown around and everything.
What a great opening to Elimination Chamber. Not only do you get a great starting Elimination Chamber match, but then you get a really good story conclusion to like what they opened up, right? They said whoever wins this will get an immediate title shot, and it had a really good punctuation mark where it didn't leave anything open. It just started and closed. It was like its own little story all told within the first 40 minutes of the show. I thought that was really well done.
And I think the way they transitioned into Edge actually, picking his WrestleMania opponent was perfect.
Yeah, me too.
Roman Reigns sold that spear.
Very well.
Like I wasn't I was expecting it to happen, but it did kind of make me mark out a little bit seeing that happen. Because, he got it. Edge got his ass whipped on Friday. Well, he got speared by Roman. So, it's just basically revenge on it and then calling him out. So I think the build to that match is going to be crazy, especially knowing how Edge rolls and how he does his mind games with people. I'm expecting a nice little build to that WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Is there any other matches that you guys want to talk about on this card for Elimination Chamber?
I want to talk about the main event.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the main event. We can
think the Sasha match would throw away. The women's tag title match would throw away.
That was really bad.
I do think Dakota and Raquel win it on Wednesday though, because they're competing against that Shaquille O'Neal match. So I think there's going to be a title change.
There would have to be something big. Even though I don't know. I'm not excited for that Shaquille thing at all. I also want to say that I think that that Riddle is money. I would love to see Riddle in a program with Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan wants to put some people over, Riddle would be a really good sort of evolution. I think, but the funny thing is, it's like he's already got his veteran, right? Like he's got John Morrison, who's kind of helping him get over a little bit by giving him very competitive matches. It was nice to see him get the win in the Elimination Chamber match. So Riddle, Lashley, and John Morrison have a match. John Morrison takes the loss because of funky circumstances as well. He had already got put in the hurt lock and stuff like that, so he's already hurt. So you're like, oh, well, maybe he would have won had he not been beat up or something, right? And then they allow him to have a full match, and he still gets the win. So it gives Riddle, I think, that little bit of extra push. I feel like they're treating it good.
They're definitely going the right direction with him. I enjoyed the final stretch of that match between Riddle, Bobby Lashley, and Morrison. I think they should give Morrison more TV time as a singles competitor. He's low-key one of my favorite people. So
as long as he's not, as long as Riddle's not, dude, he did it again on Monday. He needs to stop. They need to stop with these. Yo, I watched Air Bud and. Yo, my eagle on the belt is named Travis. We need to stop with this pothead RVD gimmick because it is
no. He's over. Well, you know what? I won't say for sure if he's over or not because I honestly, it's hard to tell with the cameras. And just to tell you two, real quick.
No, 1 second, Matt. 1 second before you make that point. Elias and me watch Raw every week. Unfortunately, Elias, how cringe are those backstage promos with Matt Riddle?
They're a little cringe. He needs a little bit more polishing up on his stuff.
But I feel like Vince loves it, and that's why they keep doing it.
I don't mind the bro gimmick. I don't mind the bro gimmick because he's done that even in the indies. But he needs a little bit more polishment on his delivery. That I would say that. I say keep the gimmick, just
bro.
Also, Matt, the point you wanted to make, I wouldn't make it because Elias has been part of the Thunderdome, so he can rebunk everything you said.
I've heard multiple reports. I heard multiple reports that the Thunderdome audience is not live.
On NXT, it's not live.
NXT it isn't. On Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views they are.
There's no way those things are live. Hold on. there's no way that those are live without delay. Because if I was to stand up and
No,
flash myself,
there is a
Yeah.
delay.
Kenny
There's a
Omega
30
was on
there's-
one for 10 minutes.
There's a 30-second delay.
of
on
course
there
they're going to
because-
show him on it. What are you talking about? That gets people talking. What are you? What? Why
There was-
wouldn't you show? No,
there
no,
was
no,
a guy-
no.
There was
They
a
care
guy.
about-
One second, Matt. There was a guy with a Chris Benoit killed his wife sign on there for 5 minutes.
It was not for 5 minutes. It was not for 5 minutes.
It was for a
It
whole
was
match.
not for 5 minutes.
It was for a whole match, Elias.
So there is a delay on there because the last time I joined the Thunderdome, they do go on 30 seconds before the main show goes on. And it is kind of to catch stuff like that. That Benoit thing did happen, but it happened in the first couple of episodes of the Thunderdome.
Yeah, when they were still working out the kinks of it. Like,
yeah, they're still working out the kinks and stuff.
Elias
like that,
has pictures where he's on like 7 of them at one time.
Yeah. Well, that was the testing. I was part of the testing mechanism of that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's that happened. They put 2 matches on there, with NXT folks, which was pretty cool. All right. The main event of Elimination Chamber, the Raw Championship match. Sheamus ruthless when he got into the chamber match. I really felt bad for was that AJ Styles who got the 10 beats of the I think it was either AJ Styles or Jeff Hardy. I don't know who got that 10 beats of the
It was are you talking about the this?
The chest hits, yeah.
I thought that was Drew McIntyre when he was on the ground. You talking about that?
When so I think it was AJ Styles. He had they had got him on the out. Sheamus had got him on the outside of the ring, and then he just started pummeling his ass with the chest beats.
I don't fully remember the bell tolls on the outside for some reason. I do remember on the inside.
That did happen because they said AJ bumped like crazy in this match because they talked about that, and they talked about when who was the guy who someone hit a DDT to the outside, like a tornado DDT to the outside on him too.
Yeah.
And it looked really bad. Oh, Kofi hit that tornado DDT to the outside. Yeah. And
okay, so hold on. Let's back up just a little bit. So we got Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. They are all former champions. That was kind of the gimmick of this Elimination Chamber, is that Drew McIntyre would have to survive 5 other former champions inside the Elimination Chamber. It started out really hard hitting with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton starting the match off. This is the best Jeff Hardy's looked in at least like 4 months, in my opinion, of watching pay-per-views. He was very, very clean in this. He was very, very he had a lot of speed. He had a lot of even like technical moves, not technical in terms of like him like submitting you or something, but like the way that he would fly over, and like he just looked very sound in the way that he was maneuvering, I thought. I thought Randy Orton looked like Randy Orton. I'm tired of watching him. I am really, really tired of Randy Orton. Like, he is one guy that I need to stop seeing still in main event scenes on pay-per-views for me to want to continue watching this stuff. I do not care for Randy Orton at all, especially because we all know that he's going to face The Fiend at WrestleMania, it looks like, right? And he's going to beat The Fiend. I am so tired of Randy Orton. Randy Orton?
I don't think he's going to win. He's taking time off soon.
They gave Bray Wyatt superpowers at WrestleMania against Randy Orton. They gave him freaking superpowers, and Randy Orton still beat him.
I mean, he burned him alive, dude. We saw it. He burned him alive, too. Don't forget that.
Terrible.
No, but,
okay.
I like the way how when Randy Orton got eliminated, he RKO'd everybody and almost just ripped the freaking backside of the chamber to get AJ Styles into the match, and like that was almost
that ripped off the back thing. Is that what
that's what I said?
Oh,
yeah. So I think they're doing a good job with AJ Styles and almost. This kind of reminds me of when AJ was in Japan with Bad Luck Fale. Has his bodyguard a little bit, so it does bring me reminiscences of that, and it's pretty cool to see that. I want to see they're finally starting to show a little bit more of almost. on his character and how, and they're possibly we're going to see him in the ring wrestle.
He's a big boy. He is a
Yeah.
big boy. Is he 7 foot something?
I think he's like 7'1".
He is big.
So the end of this match, Drew McIntyre wins. Bobby Lashley comes out, kills him, and then Miz cashes in, and Miz is your new champion. And as much as, we all know he's going to be a transitional champion, Miz looked good on Raw. I think that was the best Miz looked in forever.
I don't know. Miz always looks good. It's just Vince fucking with his character too much by putting him with Bad Bunny and doing stupid stuff like that, where they make him look like a geek and a dork, and they make him look weak. Like how dumb is that of WWE booking to literally have him look like a punk to a untrained pop singer, and then have him go out and win the largest title in their company against literally a mountain of a man. But like the week before he took a slap, or an hour before that, he took a slap by whatever a Bad Bunny is. I don't even know what a Bad Bunny is, but he took it from a Bad Bunny.
Think about it from a storyline perspective. He basically said, "I'm a champion," which the 24/7, it's a championship technically. He's nothing. Technically, okay.
I'll give you it on technicality.
And then he goes out and actually goes and kind of proves Bad Bunny wrong that he's championship material. Gets the championship the next night on Raw. He does a flawless promo. He's playing the championship role as he always does, to the best of his ability, and he looks good doing it. So I really wanted him to win that eventually, to have heel Miz on there.
So we all think Bobby's going to win the title on Monday, though, right? Or at Fastlane, if it gets disqualified.
And then what do you do for Mania?
Bobby
give
and
me
Bobby and Drew.
I don't see that.
What do you see?
Well, the dirt sheets have said it's Bobby and Drew.
I don't like that. I don't want to see Bobby and Drew.
You don't want to see Bobby win and face Lesnar at Mania and win? Or face Lesnar at SummerSlam and win?
No, I don't. I want to see if because they're going to have people at WrestleMania, correct?
Yeah.
And then that means they're going to probably have people by SummerSlam as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure that's the plan, right? I want to see Drew beat Brock Lesnar in front of a huge crowd and have them pop for him. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Well, you can have Brock win the Rumble again next year.
And here's the thing: is I don't think that okay. So I'll be completely. I am biased when it comes to Bobby Lashley. I am not a fan of his. I don't like the way that I don't like the big dude that relies on the big dude's strength to be good, and he does that. He is not a finesse wrestler. He is not a technician. Like look at the way Drew, who probably weighs about the same, but is way more lean, obviously. Look at the way that he handles his matches, the way that he conducts it, the way that he has involved moments. Like, he's not just like, I'm bigger, therefore I push. Like, I do not care for that. I do think that Bobby has looked way better than like I've ever seen him before, and I have way more enjoyment of watching him. But like, I don't want to see Bobby Lashley. He's not my champion. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him. I would like to see Miz and Drew McIntyre have a legitimate championship match, even at WrestleMania.
So the whole thing with superstars is when you see him walking in an airport. This is the Kevin Nash theory. You see him walking in the airport, you're like, he is someone. He's either an actor or he's something, right? He's an athlete or an actor. When you see Bobby Lashley walking in the airport, you're like, he's a badass. Like, everything you said, Matt, you wouldn't say to his face, right? I'd say to the Miz, like, bro, you're a transitional champion. What's the Miz gonna do to me? But I wouldn't go up to Bobby Lashley and be like, hey, man, you don't use enough finesse moves in the ring.
if I was to go up to Bobby Lashley and say, "Hey man, I just want to talk to you professionally about wrestling. I don't really care for your style of wrestling." I would have no issue with that. I wouldn't call him like a punk or mean names. I wouldn't do that to anybody. Moise, I don't even like you, and I wouldn't go up to you in your face and tell you mean things. Okay, like I'm just not that kind of person. All right, but I definitely wouldn't do that to Bobby Lashley, and I wouldn't do that to the Miz either.
So I think the plan for WrestleMania this year is to have the plan for WrestleMania this year is to have Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, or have something happen where it's Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar. The eventual champion, the eventual person they want Bobby Lashley to face is Brock Lesnar.
It's a win or lose.
I don't know about that one, but it's a.
I just want to see MVP and Paul Heyman on the mic.
Yeah, MVP's way over. I love him,
especially because MVP's got that New Jack style, So like everything Paul Heyman. Have you watched any of the Hurt Business? It's the same thing as the Beatdown Clan in Impact. Are you
talking about New Jack ECW New Jack, or are you talking about like New Jack the character on like New York style? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, like the badass.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking like New Jack like ECW. I was like, he ain't no fucking New Jack. What are you talking about?
No.
New Jack and ECW was.
He's not pulling a fork out and stabbing people. No,
exactly. That's what I was. I didn't understand. I didn't get it.
He has that street cred, right? But. Yeah, Paul Heyman's never been up against anyone with street cred. It's always been like a Roman or a Drew McIntyre or a CM Punk. Like it's all been these wrestlers, but he's never gone up against someone who can stand up to his monster and be like, "Yo, I've done what your monster did. I fought in an octagon. I've won in an octagon. I didn't have to retire from an octagon."
So one thing about Paul Heyman, he's never been against somebody that a ballet at sorts or manager that can actually go toe to toe with him on the mic. As hard as they tried with a couple of people, it never was a person that can literally keep up with him on the mic. Having MVP, if this match ever comes into fruition, having MVP with Lashley go against Heyman and Lesnar on that mic skill is going to be tit for tat because MVP has that cred.
Who has Paul Heyman gone up against on the microphone? I can't think of another person that he truly has. Like I agree with you guys that we haven't seen it, but it's because they haven't tried it yet. I don't think
they've ever tried it. I think it's always been the wrestler.
It's always been the wrestler. Yeah, it's always been the wrestler.
It was kind of during the one night stand thing. JBL was kind of the mouthpiece for WWE.
Yeah, but that was years ago. We can't hold that against that many years ago. I'm talking about more recent. Like ever since he came in with Brock. Like
nobody. Nobody, because the only persons that have been able to keep up with him on the mic as wrestlers are John Cena and Triple H.
And Triple H is honestly debatable as well. Like,
yeah,
he's not. I mean, he's not a. It's difficult to look at Triple H going against anybody on the microphone because it's not a level playing field because he's above all of it because he's the owner of the damn company. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same thing. I agree with you about John Cena. John Cena is definitely a cut above everybody, in my opinion. I think that anyone that doesn't give John Cena just desserts for who he is and what he's done and what he's able to do, I think it's honestly just like I don't know, just an unhappy prick, honestly. Like anybody that like just hates John Cena at this point anymore, like you're just an unhappy prick. Like I can totally understand like not digging the dude, but like still like the dude's given everything to this.
I thought Samoa Joe was really good when Samoa Joe like turned it up during that fatal four-way match when Samoa Joe got in Brock's face. I thought that was pretty good, but let's go on to AEW and NXT. Which one do y'all want to talk about first? Or do you just want to neither was that appealing, honestly.
Yes. That's kind of what I wanted to say. I have like a couple of cents to kind of bat off you guys and see what you guys have to say about it. I thought both shows were incredibly ho-hum. Like last week, we talked about this. Okay, we one of the first things we talked about was the very first match last week was Adam Page, Matt Hardy, and I said, they were tag team, blah blah blah. Anyways, I said, AEW has a big problem where they don't know how to do a promo. They have to do a wrestling match to get into a promo, and that's what this entire show was. Every match led into.
I'm going to disagree.
Well, okay. I would love to hear about what you're disagreeing with because literally
Only
the first match,
main event. The main event.
Oh, well, that was different. That was its only saving grace. The main event was a fantastic match that didn't surprise me that it was fantastic at all. Like it surprised me why I didn't expect it to surprise me. You know what I mean?
Did you? So this is my feelings on this. I thought the last 40 minutes of both shows were great.
I would agree. Like I would say,
Yeah,
good.
I would agree.
I would say good. Lance Archer going over, I think, was almost a little too predictable. Like I would have rather Ray Phoenix get in, and I would have rather them have some sort of workaround to get Lance Archer in because it's going to be this crazy ass ladder match at Revolution. I want to see Ray Phoenix in it, and maybe Ray Phoenix was just like, "Hey guys, I would rather not do this match this time, so I'll go out however you want me to." I don't know if that's what happened. Try not.
But that goes back to what I said about the misuse of wrestlers in AEW. Like for this ladder match, Ray Phoenix seemed like the perfect person to put on there.
It seems like it.
I think they fucked up with announcing next week's qualifier, 10 versus Caster. Like, why didn't you just do Archer versus 10 and Caster versus Phoenix?
Right? No, I agree with that too. When they announced that for next week, I'm like, why would anybody care about this match? Like, I mean, no disrespect to 10. I mean, no disrespect to Caster, but like that is not the match you use to promote your next week's show.
So Caster's rapping has gotten really popular on Twitter. Like, it's getting a lot of retweets, a lot of friends. Yeah, like him.
This shows you how old I am. I'm old.
Because at first everyone's like, "Oh, it's a knockoff John Cena," but now everyone's like, "Oh God, this guy can actually rap."
He's pretty good. I agree. He's pretty good. I enjoyed his intros. So real quick, let me finish what my just initial thoughts. I think that they do a poor job of using wrestling matches to get into promos. I think it showed really bad with Jake Hager versus Brandon Cutler. No one gave an absolute god awful shit about that match, and it was just to make Jack Hager look, I don't know, I guess strong. Like it was such a bad, like I think they're worried about people forgetting that like he's also a wrestler, and I get that, but at the same time, like that match didn't do anything. It was very sloppy.
Another match, the tag team match, the
Varsity Blondes versus Team Tag.
Why was that match 10 minutes long? It should have been 2 minutes.
It was that long because they needed to build the time, and then they needed to wait for Sting to roll his ass down to the ring. That's what happened.
No, but give it to your fucking women. They just fucking tore the house down the last 4 weeks.
I don't know about tore the house down. I thought this match between Britt Baker
compared to what AEW's been doing, they tore the house down.
Well, okay, but that's a low bar, so it's tough to really get excited for that. And I thought Britt Baker.
Here's the thing.
I thought Britt Baker should have gone over on that one, in my opinion.
I do too, actually. I thought the match was I thought the match was pretty sloppy, especially towards the end. It looked like they were both very gassed, even.
That's what you're doing, heel versus heel. You got to expect it. There's no story.
I agree. Yeah. The Matt Hardy stuff, like I am a big AEW mark. I really am. But like this 2-hour show made it difficult for me to like want to pay attention. Like I wanted to see like, okay, what's happening next? And like, okay, this is what like the Hangman Page versus what's his name? Cassidy. As it was happening, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. Like, why do I care about watching this until it gets to 5 minutes before the end and stuff? I'm so glad. Hey, we talked about this. I'm so glad Hangman Page did not use the buckshot lariat. And I think the reason why he didn't use the buckshot lariat was because Jake Hager has some sort of stupid run back and forth clothesline that he used to win. I would so much rather him use the Deadeye tombstone to win matches and give Jake Hager that stupid ass lariat. Because I don't like the buckshot lariat like we had talked about.
Let's talk about the Sting segment for a second.
Okay.
I really did not enjoy it.
Is it because Sting got physical? Because I think you just dislike anything where Sting.
I think
no.
I think that's why. I'm pretty sure if I had to make a guess, it's because Sting did moves in which his body might get hurt.
So here's why I disliked it, Elijah, and then because you're gonna go on a rant. I just have one reason I disliked it. I think when Sting bought Hook out, I think Taz should have got up and just locked him in a tag mission from behind. and have Darby get beat up because the faces are going over at the pay-per-view regardless.
Yeah.
So make the heels look good. That's why I disliked it. Elias, I know you're about to go on a rant, so.
No. Okay, so I agree with that. That should have happened. I really think that after getting powerbombed last week, they should have made Cage look stronger. Instead, he oversold a little.
You wasted that spot. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
now you wasted that powerbomb.
Which is the same problem that they did last week when we talked about it. It's like, why give the powerbomb away for free? Why do that?
Yeah, and they gave the Scorpion death drop for free again.
Why?
So it's like that. I guess they're trying to push that to get the people engaged more.
But what else am I going to see now, right? Like, it's so weird because I don't know. Like, my only assumption at this point, is that Sting gets handicapped within the first 5 minutes of this match. And it is purely Darby Allin fighting for his life.
Or
right?
cinematic and they do some crazy shit.
I hope not. I am not a fan of the cinematic matches. I'm really not.
I don't think this match can even be that violent because you got that stupid barbed wire match at the main event.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be violent by any stretch. It's just a no DQ match.
But it's a street fight, and you got Cage, who's a monster. If I'm Brian Cage, and you got Darby Allin, who's going to do something stupid, he is.
How often in no disqualification matches of any kind do you see somebody pull out anything that's like dangerous?
How often in Darby Allin matches have you pulled out something crazy?
Well,
Every match?
what does a barbed wire? Can he do a barbed wire skateboard now?
No, but he could do a coffin drop off the 30th floor of Daly's place.
That'd be kind of interesting looking. I don't know.
And then you got a ladder match on this pay-per-view too, where Pentagon's going to do something dumb.
Yeah, they're definitely overbooking this pay-per-view, and I didn't think that until we heard about the freaking barbed wire explosion match.
Some reports I read were because the Shaquille O'Neal thing was supposed to be on this pay-per-view, but it's All-Star Weekend. So Shaquille O'Neal couldn't make the pay-per-view, and that's why I think they're just throwing everything into the basket now.
Do you think that
Shaquille's supposed to be next week?
It was supposed to be a revolution.
Yeah. I'm not excited for Shaquille.
All-Star Weekend. Do you think All-Star Weekend is going to affect the buys for AEW?
No, because All-Star's free. No, it's not going to affect anything. The people that want to watch professional wrestling are going to watch professional wrestling.
Yeah, because even when me and Matt have stuff going on Saturday, when it was originally on Saturdays, me and Matt would just order it at 10 o'clock and watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, in a lot of ways, TNT is really screwing themselves in the pooch with this because they don't have a great idea of what they're doing for entertainment for All-Star Weekend. I mean, I know they're going to do like a very All-Star Weekend light, basically, but like, why didn't they team up with their professional wrestling athlete brand and try to do something fun with them to sell to your basketball consumer, especially because Shaq is doing something with it.
So as much as we did hate both shows, I just got an alert on my phone. NXT got its best rating ever, and AEW went up 10% too, or 8%.
So moving on to NXT a little bit, I honestly like this AEW was very ho-hum. Like it was very boring overall, and the promos led to really.
I'm not going to let you move on because we're going to talk about something.
What do you
want to talk about? Papa Buck.
Oh,
yeah,
the big blood! What was the point of that?
What was the point of that? I don't get it. I literally turned off.
And the worst part, right, was the fact that like at the end of the segment, Jericho did like his humor, like his funny man Jericho, and he's like, "Hey, let's get out of here." Like, what the hell was this segment? Was it humorous? Was it fun? Was it horrific? Was it dangerous? What was it, Jericho? Jericho, tell me, because I swear it was just dumb. It didn't need this added level of look, guys, he's a father beater too. You're already an asshole.
Why couldn't it just be a steel chair shot and they drive off?
That would have been simple.
They threw the dad at both pictures of Matt and what's his Nick, Matt and Nick, and
I did think it was funny. I did think it was funny how MJF was like, "Oh, you can't love one more than the other."
Was it supposed to be funny? Was it supposed to be funny in your opinion?
I don't know.
Because then you got Tony on the freaking microphone. He's like, "This is horrific. Oh my god, they have crossed a line."
Well, what did Jim Ross say? What did Jim Ross say? They should be locked up or something. Jim Ross made some stupid comment too.
I liked it when he said that we already knew MJF was worthless, but now we know Jericho's an asshole too.
That's what I'm like, Jim Ross, you've worked with this guy forever. You're like,
you should know that already.
That's what I thought too. Like this didn't make either one of them look more evil, and like we already knew they were the bad guys. Like, that was a bad
anyway, so NXT the opener. I need to hit on this really quick. Indy Hartwell is my new sweetheart. I love her thinking Dexter Lumis is hot. I love it. I love the whole Gargano family going to therapy next week. I think Austin Theory's killing it. I think Austin Theory and Gargano are awesome right now.
Gargano's doing great. Theory's okay. Theory's really green. Theory's really, really green.
And they did a good job at pairing him with Gargano. So as Gargano goes, he's going to learn more and more.
And
I don't know if I like Dexter. I think he's a little too creepy for me. I honestly think he's a little too creepy.
Here's the thing. What's your ceiling on the main roster if you're never going to speak a word?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's Kane. Good. I don't know. What did Kane do for like 5 years?
Yeah, but you still have Paul Bearer.
Okay, Paul Bearer going.
But here's the thing. Maybe it's good because Vince can't knowing Vince, he's going to give Dexter Lumis some squeaky voice or something.
Oh god, wouldn't that be great if he just comes out there just staring at the thing? Is like, "I'm gonna get you,
dude.
I saw you last night."
All right.
Why do you pee sitting down?
I actually enjoyed that match, and as far as storytelling goes, it does add to the element of the storyline going on with that. It does put Dexter Lumis into a championship match opportunity. Let's talk about Io Shirai versus Zoe Stark.
Who's Zoe Stark? Who's Zoe Stark?
What's her name? Lacey Ryan.
Where was she before this? Why is she so familiar to me?
She was on Impact for a bit.
I don't watch Owl shows. That would not.
No, like a while ago. I think back when you were watching, she was on it.
Man, I watched it when Hulk Hogan was on Impact. Okay, so.
Oh, that was bad.
Lacey Ryan. She's based out of Utah. She's based out of Utah, so.
I don't know. She just looks really familiar. You know who she reminds me a little bit of is the chick that was on AEW for a little while. The one that believed she was an alien. What was her name?
Statlander.
Yeah, she has a very similar. They have a very similar style, or not style, but look. Not style, just look, because they both do the tight like athletic bra and then like the short shorts and stuff. Like and then the colors, right? They just do like the single color, like very similar look to them. I thought. But she was really fun. And that match was super competitive. Talk about two women that can just go, right? And like not look like they're completely out of breath at the end of the match.
and then with Tony Storm coming out and challenging Io Shirai, I think that match next week is going to be pretty cool.
I think Tony's going to win the title in 2 weeks. I think Tony's going to win the title and Io will debut Raw after Mania. Or SmackDown.
Io's not going to Raw. Io's not going to the main roster, is she? She better not go to the. She'll get eaten alive on the main roster. That'd be terrible if she went to the main roster. Where would be her spot? Where would be Io's spot on the main roster right now?
SmackDown. I've already beaten you, Sasha Banks.
That's not how this works, boys. That's not how this works. They would never do that.
I don't know. This is a pretty interesting moment.
Charlotte, I took the title from you, Raw.
Because it's dominant. She's been dominant in NXT for the past couple of months. So
I don't remember the last time she lost a match.
Well, it was before she won the championship, that's for sure.
Yeah, after she won the championship, she's pretty one of the ones that's been booked correctly for the past year.
When did she win it? Who remembers?
In your house, when she beat Charlotte, it was a huge deal, Matt.
Was it in your house? Is that when she won it?
In your house. Yeah,
was it in your house?
Yeah, it was a triple threat between Charlotte and Rhea.
Is that when she jumped off the house, right?
The house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember wrestling stuff, guys. Calm down. Jeez,
So no DQ match between Karrion Kross and Santos Escobar.
This was fun. I love this.
Yeah, this is what I hope we get to see a little bit out of like the Team Taz and Sting and Darby thing, because it was a lot of fun. They moved all over the building. Are you sold on
Karrion Kross yet? Because I know you're still
No.
on the fence.
So I'm not sold on him because of this match, and the reason why is because I haven't seen him in a like traditional match yet. And anybody can look good. I have learned anybody can look good. They can look good or bad in this kind of match too. Don't get me wrong. But like anybody can look good in a no disqualification
You
match
didn't watch
and
the
stuff like
Ciampa
that.
match with him?
I never saw the Ciampa match. No, I did not.
I think you'll enjoy it. It was a quick match. All of his matches have been squashes. That's
Oh yeah. I did see the squash match on the last takeover, not this takeover, the last one, right?
Yeah, where he beat last takeover he was injured.
The takeover before he beat
he
Ciampa,
won the title. No, he beat Keith Lee for the title. He beat Ciampa before Keith Lee.
Okay, I did see that match because I remember we talked about that, and I said I don't know if I care for this sort of. I remember that squash, but once again, I don't have a big enough amount of stuff on him. I might have even said in our chat that he looked good, but I don't know what I think about him yet.
Yeah. No, I think this match was fun. I think involving involving the two other guys was pretty cool, Mendoza and Wild. I really enjoyed the spots, especially when he came back and he looked like a monster, just taking both Wild and Mendoza out. I think the ending of the match was pretty cool. Him going through the table and then putting him back and just putting him away. I thought that was a perfect ending for him. I kind of wish I would have seen Scarlett do her patent hurricanrana from the top rope or something, or at least a hurricanrana from somewhere to one of the henchmen.
None. I like her not getting physical yet.
So I'm not like super up to date with like the storylines of NXT because I'd only started watching it about 3 weeks ago now. But like, why is, because you guys have both told me that Cross is going to be going after the main title against Finn Balor. Why is he in this program with the cruiserweight champion, and then why is he beating the cruiserweight champion in a non-title match? What is that doing for either Santos or for the title?
So when Santos had it, so a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the week before you started watching, Santos had his coming out party. He got on the mic. He's like, one of your champions, the last two champions you had, one had a broken jaw and took a month off, and the other one had to forfeit the title. He's like, your tag team division is a joke because they're in Europe half the time, and I'm the only champion that's consistently here. So that was his coming out party. So when he did the whole, your last champion had to forfeit the title, he was talking about Cross. That's how this feud started. The reason they're doing this is because Finn, Balor, Kyle, and Roddy have their own little thing going on right now. So I honestly don't even, I think if he doesn't get back in the title picture, I think he's getting called up because from everything I'm reading, Vince loves this dude.
Yeah.
Where does he go in the main roster?
I think he's probably going to go to Raw.
Where's Orton right now? Is Orton on SmackDown or is he on Raw?
Orton's on Raw.
Okay, well, I hope they send him to Raw, and I hope he kicks the shit out of Randy Orton.
Man, I don't want him. I don't want him and the Fiend anywhere near each other.
Well, I don't want them. I just want him to go and kick Randy Orton.
Vince is gonna fuck it up. I don't want them
Obviously.
anywhere near
either that, or I could see him on SmackDown. I think he'll be a better.
Well, those are the only two options, Elias.
Well, no.
He could stay on NXT.
He could stay in NXT, but sending him to Raw, or to SmackDown, will be a better booking in my part because they're putting more attention to SmackDown now than Raw. If you notice,
SmackDown's on Fox.
Yeah. So I think Karrion Kross will probably end up on SmackDown because they're gonna eventually need more heavy hitters there.
I would love to see.
I would love to see freaking Braun
Strowman
Strowman
and Roman.
Yeah, that too, or Strowman
Strowman
and him.
I need to watch more of this guy. I need to.
Matt, you need to go watch his match with Brian Cage and Eddie Edwards in Impact. Like both of those separate matches.
Eddie Edwards.
The American Wolves or whatever. You probably heard of them.
Wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
Adam Cole.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. Adam Cole. Baby.
He
Baby.
is. God, that last segment, I enjoyed the segment, and
I thought it drug a little bit. I thought it went a little.
It did
too
at
long.
the beginning. It should have gone a little bit. I would have enjoyed it more if it would have been a little shorter.
You could tell that they needed to fill a little bit of time.
Yeah, they needed.
No, they went over. They went over.
Did they really? Oh, well, then tell them to snap it up.
They have an 8-minute overrun, and they still cut off early, so they went more than the 8 minutes. Yeah.
Maybe the plan was to go with that 8 minutes over. Maybe they were planning for the overage.
Well, technically, it's supposed to be 15 minutes, a 15-minute window between anything on USA and WWE. So typically, they cut off a little bit.
Is NXT filmed live?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, because there's I get the emails from WWE when they're opening seats for the Capitol Wrestling Center for the Raw, SmackDown, and the pay-per-views to join the Thunderdome for their live audience that they have.
Interesting.
So, but
does it cost money to be a part of the Thunderdome?
No, it's free.
I'm gonna do it next time, and I'm gonna have the biggest AEW shirt just all over. See if they put me on.
Oh, they'll take you out.
No, they won't. They won't take. Do they know who I am? They definitely don't know who I am.
Dude, you're scared to talk to Bobby Lashley.
I'm not scared to talk. You said you're scared. I'm not.
All right.
Hold on a second. You know what this is, guys? It's the weekly tweet of the week, and I'm going to tweet at Mr. Bobby Lashley. And you know what I'm going to tell him? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell him as I tweet it. Let me see if I can find him on Twitter real quick.
Wait, we have to do the whole Cody thing too. So save this for the end of the show.
Lash. What's his Twitter? Is he on Twitter? He's scared of me already. Scared of me already. Bobby Lashley ain't even on freaking Twitter.
Closing thoughts on this Adam Cole segment. I like that it just started a little too long, and I think Roddy's gonna be getting his ass whooped, and Kyle's gonna come make the save.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna enjoy this program between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. I saw the matches they had in Ring of Honor, and if
his Twitter is Fight Bobby.
I found him.
All right. So last week we said we were going to talk about. Last week we said we talk about Cody Rhodes. Is he as big as he is being built up to be?
I only want Moise. I love you, buddy. I only want to hear Elias's thoughts. That's the only person I want to hear talk about this. I don't even want to know what you have to say, Moise. I just want to hear what Elias has to say about Cody Rhodes. I just want to hear what he has to say.
So I've been a fan of Cody when he joined Bullet Club. I think he is a little bit overhyped at times. I get that he's one of the VPs at AEW, so they always make him seem a big deal. I think it's him knowing the right connections and knowing the right people that has gotten him to where he's at. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's pretty good in the ring. His in-ring psychology is, his dad is Dusty Rhodes, so if his in-ring psychology wasn't up to par, then, there's something wrong there. But I do feel sometimes he's overhyped. Not to take anything away of what he's accomplished, but he really didn't have a good run in WWE, in my opinion. And that's not his fault. But I believe the work that he did in the Indies was great, especially the whole build to All Out or All In.
I liked his Impact run too.
Yeah, his Impact run too. But his whole build up to the NWA Championship versus Nick Aldis, I think that was one of his best. That's
another guy I don't think is as good as people think he is.
Nick Aldis?
Yeah,
you're kidding.
I think
you're
Nick
kidding.
Aldis is one of the best wrestlers out there.
You're kidding.
Of course y'all do.
He is.
Dude, guy's a vanilla cake when I can have strawberry or I can.
Oh, I bet you wouldn't say that to his face now, would you?
Yes, I would, because he's not intimidating.
He would beat your ass.
What? Nick Aldis is like a throwback to like what wrestlers used to look like and how they used to act. Nick Aldis would be the guy that you would go up to and be like, I don't know if wrestling's real, and he would slap you and then say, does that feel fake? That's what kind of wrestler Nick Aldis is.
I think he's boring.
You're tripping.
I think Nick Aldis is he's keeping up the tradition of traditional wrestling, and he's doing a good job as an NWA champion.
Sorry, back to Cody Rhodes. I drunk yourself talk.
Okay, I feel like
he sometimes arrived.
I feel like Cody Rhodes is actually at the place where he just deserves what he gets. I truly believe that Cody built an empire for himself, for his friends, for his love of professional wrestling. And I think he did it. Honestly, I think he did it the wrong way in some respects because of the way that he treated ROH and ROH money and ROH talent and all that kind of stuff, you know, the shady background things. But I think you don't get anywhere, sadly, if you're not being a little shady in the way that you handle shit. I think it's wrong.
Politics involved.
There's always politics and all that stuff. Honestly, nobody's that butthurt about it, though, because we're seeing there is ROH talent going to AEW. There is still obviously a friendly relationship there. Like maybe it may be not as good as it could be or something, but like I don't think there's any major hurt feelings. You guys read the dirt sheets. Have you heard anything about there being major hurt feelings over?
So originally
there was in the beginning, yes.
In the beginning it was because the way that the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody did.
That's partly ROH's fault, though. I feel right.
Well, like, it's both. It was both. They had heat from New Japan and ROH.
Yeah, but like
the fact that they did what they did, and then they went and started a new company.
I know, but like, what did they think was going to happen? Like, they really put all this money and effort into a show that had no branding, and when it did well, they were really surprised that they like, hey guys, it turns out we could do something with this. Like. That's the thing that frustrates me about the storyline, about there being frustrations on either side about it, is the fact that's like they're taking something that is selling and running with it. Like that's nobody's fault besides your guys' own fault for not wanting to try to dominate it. Like ROH should have had a TNT deal years ago.
Well, they're part of this. They're part of Sinclair, so it's like Sinclair has to make that deal with TNT.
I know, but I get that. My point is that if there's a place for people to want to watch wrestling, they should have been trying to get to that point, but they didn't.
Okay,
they were happy with their direct TV deals.
Okay, I'm about to say something, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. I tried to watch ROH, and I tried to watch MLW. It just seems so backyard wrestling broke.
Right now, MLW is not great. Right now, MLW without the fans, without the notoriety, without...
No, but here's the thing, Matt. Like, there's talent that I would have in my current top 10 right now, that I have in my current top 10 on MLW. And I'm like, please, get the hell out of there. And same thing with ROH. Like I am so irritated that Selena Del Renta is still on MLW. Like, Vince should have called her 15 weeks ago.
Does she have like family at MLW? Like, why is she so? I don't know. I agree with that. I'm surprised that she is.
She's running their NWO, quote unquote, basically right now.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, is there nobody that's interested in her? Like, why hasn't she?
I heard she has backstage issues.
Oh, okay.
She's also locked into a contract with MLW for.
MLW did a great job with their contract work. Like that's one thing that MLW. That's the interesting thing about what happens to some of these stars. Like that's where I learned about.
Not with Filming Sun, they didn't.
I know, and like that's the interesting stuff though about it. Like the Teddy Hart and the Davey Boy Smith Jr. and MJF and Austin Aces or whatever his name was.
Davey Boy re-signed to WWE, by the way.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I bet he becomes just a backstage guy. I bet he doesn't do any more on-screen stuff.
No, he
said he's signed a wrestler contract, talent contract.
Really? How old is Davey Boy Smith Jr. now? I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Also, let me just do my thoughts on Cody Rhodes really quick because I do want to get into this in our last 15 minutes. I think Cody losing that match where he couldn't challenge for a title again was awesome. Like, it gets him out of the title picture forever.
I love that when that first happened.
I don't think he needs to be in a match against Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think he needed to be in the first thing segment Like, I think he's putting himself in these segments that he doesn't need to be in. And honestly, even like he put himself in the first thing segment, and then they threw him out of the story, right? But even the Shaquille O'Neal segment, I think it's a one-off because I think it's going to lead to Shaquille O'Neal versus Big Show, which is what WWE.
Oh God! Done. Stop it! Please don't tell. You are so Moise. You are too damn right about that. Oh my God!
Yeah, dude, and I'm reading it at places too now. So, otherwise, Matt, here's the thing: that show that Big Show's doing for AEW debuts in 2 weeks. Why do they have Big Show speaking next week?
I hate you for being right now, Moise. I hate you for being right. But I have no issue with him doing the Shaquille O'Neal stuff because it started with his wife. They've done a good job. They've done a good job telling the storyline that involves Shaquille O'Neal.
I agree. And the thing that
I don't
pisses
feel like
me,
he's put himself in it.
Here's the thing that here's why it's irritating because it's going to go to the Big Show program, and they don't have writers back there. It's all the EVPs booking, and the thing is, Red Velvet has been so good on Dark, and she's gonna be the one to take the pin. We all know Jade's going over in this match. Jade Cargill's getting the win, and it's gonna be on Red Velvet. And you're ruining everything you set up with Red Velvet. Like if Brandy took the pin, no one cares. But
I don't know. There's not.
I'm invested in both the girls. That's the thing.
Yeah, but there's not enough people that watch. I could be completely wrong, so please only take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I don't think that many people watch Dark, like comparatively to their main show.
I don't watch Dark. I went back and watched Dark after Jade came out and announced herself as Cody's partner and cut that promo on our Red Velvet. Cut that promo on Jade, where she's like, "I'm about to stir your ass up." That's when I went back and watched Red Velvet.
I don't watch Dark unless I see something that I'm interested in, like last week I watched Miranda.
Elias, that's what I'm saying. It's like I didn't care about Dark, but then I heard Red Velvet cut that promo on Jade, and I went back and watched Red Velvet tape. And now I'm invested in both these females, and I know Red Velvet's going to take the pin, and it's going to set up this stupid Big Show match. And Cody, that's the thing. Cody, get out of the why couldn't you kill me?
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're really, really wrong.
I don't know. I'm not excited for this, and I'm not.
I'm excited for Big Show to be an announcer. I think he's going to be great, and I think I think Big Show with how much ringside, like how smart he is. Like everyone says, he's one of the smartest dudes in the business. He's going to go to Tony Khan and be like, "Yo, this is how you book Brian Cage. This is how you book Archer. This is how you book big men." And I really think he will do that.
So I think that's a positive, but I don't know. I still think they dropped on the big men.
I don't know if that happens at all.
And here's the thing with Tony Khan. Here's the thing with Tony Khan. He's a fucking mark. You notice from the Impact commercials. He is such a mark.
I stopped watching them.
I think he's just selling that look or that persona. I don't know if that's real. I really don't.
No. If you look at the interviews he's done and watch,
I know that's what everyone has been saying for a long time, that he loves wrestling. Tony, why did you do this? I just love wrestling, and I'm just excited to be able to do this kind of stuff with the wrestlers. Like, I know that's kind of like the thing that he's kind of like selling, but I don't know. I don't know if that's real. I really don't.
I think it's real. All right. So speaking of Big Show,
I just unplugged my headphones. Oops.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
So, so there was rumblings when Big Show signed with AEW that he got heat from WWE.
Of course, he should. Sorry.
Well, he didn't. That's the thing. So the thing about it was that Big Show had problem with the way that his last appearance in WWE went, which is true because of the fact that Randy Orton kind of belittled him and he couldn't do anything about it on the Legends night. But today there was a tweet that was out there, and he actually liked the tweet. It's basically saying that there was no bad blood between them.
The contract just ended. They couldn't agree on a price. They couldn't agree on a position to him to have. So they amicably moved on. No heat involved. There's nothing that was wrong with him leaving WWE to go to AEW.
That's crazy to me.
I thought him and Vince got into it because the contract wasn't where he wanted it to be. That's what I read.
I find it impossible to believe that a man with the tenature of Paul White, of the Big Show, of the magnitude of of his recognizability, right? Just you know who he is the moment you see him. I find it impossible that there was not some sort of bad blood between him towards the company to not stay there and them not give him the price that he wants. Like, that is unbelievable to me. Like, Sting, you can make the case for Sting. He's not actually a WWE guy. You can make that case all day, and so it's totally fine that he walks away and he does his own thing. But like the Giant, nobody remembers the Giant. It is purely the Big Show. He is the Big Show. He is a TV Netflix show.
It would be like The Miz or John Cena leaving. That's essentially what it is.
It would be like John Cena. I agree with you.
I think for some point that there is some bad blood because of the fact
has
that
to be something there. Has to be
of the way on the way that his last appearance, like I said, he got belittled by Randy Orton,
and then before that, you got punted in the head by Randy in like a squash match,
and before that, he was being disrespected by Stephanie constantly. Like the dude,
he wasn't being used at all. So it's like, why, he wanted more ring time, and they probably didn't see him to put him in the ring. So,
but you don't let him walk. You do not let him leave to go to another company because he's way too recognizable.
Matt, I'll tell you how you solve this right now. You let him take Wade Barrett's spot on NXT commentary, and you let Wade Barrett do NXT UK.
I don't want to lose Wade Barrett. I like him on commentary.
I agree, but that's how WWE should have thought of it, though.
They should have figured something out. There's no reason to let him go unless they don't like him, unless they're doing it to be vindictive. Unless he walked into there and he's like, I want 10 million or I'm going to walk.
No,
we're not going to
get that's what happened. So the reports are Vince offered him a number. He didn't like the number, and they're like, all right, you're a free agent. You're still on our Legends deal. His Legends deal expired, didn't get renewed, and he was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it was. I mean, I think they couldn't come to an agreement, and other sources that I've been reading on say that he was ready for something new because his Netflix show got canceled, and he was going through some stuff. So nobody really knows until he speaks out. But
he's way too professional. He's way too professional to say anything.
I hope he goes to Matt Cardona, Jack Ryder route rather than the Chris Jericho route, Elias, on these interviews.
Because I think Big Show will. Big Show's never ever been he's gone through some shit with WWE, like big time politics, big time all sorts of shit, and he's never spoke out negatively.
I don't think he's gonna say anything negative. I think he said it's just they couldn't come to an agreement, and he decided to leave. If he does, then Big Show doesn't want to burn any bridges because he knows once his contract is done with AEW, WWE might want him for other stuff. So
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame.
I mean, I don't know. You know what? I'll never, ever, ever think that no bridge is too burnt that it can't be mended. I learned after seeing Jeff Jarrett go into the Hall of Fame. Like when that happened. When that happened, I was like, nobody.
Well, even Bret Hart coming back.
No, yeah, I mean that was yes, that was big, but like this is Jeff fucking Jarrett, who he like fired and humiliated and like tried to like run his father's business to the ground. Like, I don't know. It was the Jeff Jarrett thing to me was like, there is nobody that is not willing to come for one night and wrestle in the Royal Rumble and do something to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, there's not. It is. No,
he's a backstage producer now.
I know, which is fucking crazy. The history.
No, but that goes to show how Vince lets bygones be bygones. Like he understands.
He'll do anything to make $1. He'll do anything to make $1.
I don't think he'll do CM Punk.
Yes, he will. He's already on the Fox wrestling thing with half the cast of WWE.
That show got canceled 2 years ago, bro.
No, it's still there.
It's still there.
But Punk's not part of it. His WWE contract
He did a cameo less than a month ago.
No, it was Renee, Booker, and Paige.
He did. He was on there not more than 2 months ago. Not more than 2 months.
The show got canceled, Matt, like 6 months ago.
Hold on. I found a really juicy, interesting thing that has to be real because I found it on the internet. It says CM Punk will wrestle in 2021, and it will most likely be with the WWE. This has to be real. This has to be. I saw it on the internet, guys.
So when it comes down to WWE, I would say unexpected because we never expected some of these people to come back, and it happened. So
I don't know the whole story, but apparently Bruno was even worse than Bret Hart. Like I don't know the whole Bruno story.
Bruno was really bad. That was really bad too. He was right here during the Royal Rumble doing an appearance with Paige, Renee, and with Christian.
Was he on this?
Hold on, maybe this was last year's Royal Rumble. My bad.
Anyways, closing out the show. I think that
wait, Matt never gave us his thoughts on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I did.
You said you like where he's at.
I think he deserves where he's at. I really do. I believe he deserves. Like, I was not a big Cody's fan when he was in the Indies. I wasn't like the biggest fan of his when he was doing the stuff in. Just unplugged again. Every time I talk about Cody Rhodes, I unplug myself for some reason. I was not a huge fan of his in ROH. I was not like the biggest fan, but then like as I continued to watch him after the All In event, after his stuff with his brother, after
y'all got sold on Cody late. So for me, the match where I was like, all right, maybe I'll care about Cody Rhodes now was Dakota Ibushi match in Japan.
Really? Because I was not sold on him in Japan.
Did you watch Dakota Ibushi match?
Yes, I did. I was not sold because I thought when he first got out of WWE and he was doing his world tour stuff, I thought he was being booked heavy fucking favorite. For whatever reason, I didn't understand it. Besides, he had like that little bit of name, and I guess the Rhodes name is like much more powerful than like I initially thought it was or whatever.
Yeah, but not the Goldust name, the Rhodes name, yes.
The Rhodes, you shut your damn mouth before I fly all the way to Houston just to smack it, okay?
I'm in Dallas.
I'll find you one way or another, especially if you give me directions. I'll be fine. Anyways.
So I enjoyed his run in New Japan. I enjoyed how he turned on Kenny Omega and them, how the Bullet Club Civil War, but that's because I'm a Bullet Club OG guy, you know. But anyways,
humble brag.
Yeah, I'm an OG, bro.
Yeah, I'm an OG wrestling fan.
So
I was there in the carnivals.
I'm an OG New Jack.
You know what? Be quiet. Let Elias speak. Gosh dang it.
So I think there's sometimes where he gets a little bit oversold, but I think I agree with Matt. He's where he needs to be at. He's building his empire. I want to see him continuously succeed. And you know, sometimes I might not agree with the stuff that they do or that he does, but I think that he's doing his own thing and he's trying to make his name and his legacy to cement himself in the wrestling industry.
I do have one more question since we have 2 minutes. Okay. Do you guys think both of these Wednesday shows were lackluster because next week's shows are so big?
Yeah, but I think next week's show on AEW's part, at least, this is my opinion, is also going to be very ho-hum. I think it's going to have a super boring first hour, and it might have like a little bit more interest on the second hour, but I expect AEW next week to be pretty damn boring.
Dude, you got Nyla versus Thunder Rosa possibly.
That's not the Revolution.
I'm not excited for that.
No, that's the final. That's the final.
I'm not excited. I'm not excited to see. You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to tell you. I'm not gonna be not excited or excited for that match because I want to give Nyla Rose the benefit of the doubt. I want her to impress me like she did when I first was watching her when she first was at AEW. I want to see her excite me again.
So yeah, I will say, like Matt and me were watching that Hikaru Shida match, and we were both like, "This is going to be lame," and we were like, "Should we forward this?" And we're like, "Let's give it 5 minutes," and we were like, "Okay, let's watch it." It was actually entertaining.
Yeah.
Now, I can see the match being really good, but I'm not excited because it's not the outcome that I wanted to see. Like I want to see Britt Baker versus. I wanted to see Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
You already got it. Why do you want to see it again?
Because it's second time around, it's even better. I'd rather see. You complain that AEW gives you the same all these 6-man in different formations, but you want the same singles match over and over again because it's a tournament. I'd rather see Serena Deeb.
This would have been your third. This would have been your third time seeing Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
You have a really good memory, Moise. Moise,
the first loss was when the feud started.
You have a really good memory for wrestling.
I don't know. I just don't like
the
booking. I don't like the booking of this tournament. I feel that some people should have been in other parts. Yeah, we talked about it.
I don't think there should have been a Japan bracket.
No, there definitely shouldn't have been, especially when 3 of the American competitors are also Japanese. It's all dumb. Anyways, okay, we gotta go. We gotta wrap up, guys. We gotta wrap up.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on an episode. Join us back next week at the same time, 8:00 Central Time. Follow us on Facebook, Weekly Wrestling Heat. Follow us on Twitter, Weekly Wrestling Heat. Follow us on Instagram, Weekly Wrestling Heat.
I don't think we're gonna have a topic next week because both shows are stacked. I think both shows will deliver next week.
They're gonna be really boring.
Hopefully. I'm more excited for the Tony Storm versus Io Shirai, but that's neither here nor there.
Wait, right, Elias, one more thing, Elias.
Oh my gosh, it never ends with you.
No, this is actually really important. Did they cancel the MSK tag team title match because of the angle or no?
I think so.
That's stupid, dude. NXT's been doing that shit a lot, and it's been irritating because they did with the Escobar match 3 times.
I don't know. We'll see. They might.
I gotta go. I got my kids yelling.
All right, guys.
For me.
We'll catch up with y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
Hey, one more thing.